Hi everybody, we're going to make a quick foldable to review the concepts that we've been learning about recently before we move on to preparing for our next lab. So you all should have received a single sheet of paper on the way in, or found it on your desks. So just fold it hamburger style, the fat way, not the long way, and leave a little bit of a flap here. And then, because we're comparing and contrasting two things, please fold this in half. By the way, a disclaimer, probably going to cough a lot, so please be patient with that. Thank you. Okay, so like this, and you don't have to cut it right away, because it might be distracting, but if it really helps you, then go ahead and cut it. I will try to remember to put out the material boxes out tomorrow before you all come in. Okay, so on the bottom, this little tab part, let's write the title, and which is going to be, and I try to center it, but it's not a big deal. Physical versus chemical properties. Because I feel that we've already covered physical versus chemical changes, and I feel a lot of you have a pretty good grasp on that. So let's just get to this part. So on the left side, please write physical properties. Okay. And on the right side, please write chemical properties. And of course, the whole point of doing these videos is so that you can go at your own pace and pause when you need to. Okay, so let's start with the physical properties. At this point, you might want to try to recite to yourself from memory the definition of physical properties that you were supposed to, not you were supposed to, but you reviewed on Monday with the infographic and the text-dependent questions that I gave you. Anyway, physical properties. You can write big. We're just going to write one sentence in this big box. So physical properties are properties that can be identified without changing the substance's identity. Okay, I'm going to underline, or I'll box the words physical properties. So they can be identified without changing the substance's identity. For example, as many of you probably remember, color is a physical property. And I could identify, hey, cornstarch is white versus cocoa powder is brown. And I did not change the substance's identity. This is still brown. This is still white. However, on the other side, chemical properties, I think many of you are already anticipating what's coming. Chemical properties can only, I put that in all caps, only be identified when the material is changed into a completely new substance. So, let me see. Let's box the word chemical properties. Okay, so for example, some of you may remember that flammability is a chemical property, the ability to burn. So if I were to test, with the same two substances, cornstarch, I wanted to burn this to see, how flammable is cornstarch versus how flammable is cocoa powder. Once I test that chemical property of flammability for these two materials, they will no longer be cornstarch nor cocoa powder. They're going to be something completely different, mostly ash.